Hello and welcome to BQ Prime. You're watching IPO Adda, and my guest in focus today, or the company in focus today, is IKIO Lighting. It's a LED manufacturer based out of North India, and joining me is Mr. Hardeep Singh, who is the chairman and managing director, and Sanjeet Singh, who is a director at the company. Mr. Singh, gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us on BQ Prime. Let me start with Mr. Hardeep Singh. Sir, you're raising nearly 600 odd crores. Can you give us a bifurcation of what you're going to use that proceeds from?
So this is the proceeds will be going for the development of the new project which we are undergoing, and plant and machinery and the buildings, etc. And it is to be used in next coming 2 years.
Can you give
and some part of my OFS that is for me.
Yeah, I understand the office will go to the family. My point is that you're going to use nearly over 200 crores for expansion. What kind of capacity expansion will that lead to, and by when?
Yeah, so the capacity, there are two expansions. One is capacity and the quality. So we are working on the things that both the things should mature together, because the quantity is one thing, but the quality, we want to be self-generated development team and all, so that we can produce the world-class products for the as well as India as well as international markets.
Sanjeet, so your biggest client is Signify, which is Philips. You supply roughly around 70% of your revenues comes from them. What is the plan to diversify your revenue base, because that's a very high concentration risk that you're carrying on your books?
So actually, if you look at the FY22 numbers, the percentage is close to around 62%.
That's on a pro forma basis, right? On a pro forma basis.
Yeah, on a pro forma consolidated basis. So based on that, it is around 62%. And in the first 9 months of FY23, that percentage has already come down to around 51%. That is after, a steady growth in the business. So we believe that, the Philips business will continue to grow at a steady pace. It's just that our other verticals are also growing at a much faster pace. So the concentration will definitely, come down in the coming years, and we expect that it is going to be around 1/3 of the overall revenue that we will generate in the near future.
Give me a sense of the pro forma numbers which have come in, because my understanding is that there were two subsidiaries that got acquired by the company, which belonged to the promoters earlier. One is Royalex Exports and one is Royalex Lighting. What is the kind of revenues these companies or a run rate of revenues these companies have, which are now wholly owned subsidiaries of the company?
So basically, if I, the FY22 number, it was around 334 odd crores. And in the first 9 months, we've already done a business of, around 332 odd crores. So that is similar to what we've done in the entire 12 months. And if I talk about the subsidiaries that we have taken into account, just give me 1 minute.
What's the kind of what's the revenue that's coming from these two subsidiaries, or which will get added to the consolidated numbers maybe into FY24?
Around 170 odd crores is the number that has been added
to your books, basically. So, and what is the kind of growth rate that you're looking at, or what is the CAGR? If you can't speak for the future growth, what have been the CAGR rate at which these subsidiaries have been growing?
So, actually, different subsidiaries are having different growth, percentages. So I cannot give you the future numbers, but in the past 1 year, the kind of growth that we've seen, it varies from around 50 to 90%, depending on the different subsidiaries.
You
in the
mentioned.
past 1 year, from FY22 to FY23, the first 9 months.
You mentioned that the concentration risk has come down on a pro forma basis because two subsidiaries have got added to it. Give me a sense of what is the kind of clientele those subsidiaries have. You have Signify, which is now 50% contributing to your revenues. The new subsidiaries which have come in, what kind of clientele they have?
So the different subsidiaries, they have multiple clients, like Royal Lighting Private Limited. In that particular subsidiary, we have, I mean, I do not have the exact number, but we have more than 100 customers in that particular business. And then if I talk about Royal Exports also, there also we have multiple customers, multiple product lines. So there also we have multiple customers to the tune of maybe around more than 20-30 odd customers. So we've added a lot of customers in these business verticals.
And they are totally different and different fields altogether. So we are like focusing because the base is same, but that is our strength. We are catering all the different fields with the same base and development team.
One of the big things which all industries are facing is a semiconductor issue, and your LED business is dependent on that. If I'm not wrong, 50% of the raw materials are imported. How do you plan to provide alternate supply chains for this kind of material, because there is a disruption which is there in semiconductors, and it's across the board, across companies and sectors.
So actually, in all honesty, during COVID, we faced a lot of issues for the semiconductors, because that was a global shortage that was, happening all across the globe. So, but the good thing about us was that, being an ODM, we were in a position to change our designs rapidly, and that is what we did. And that is one of the major reasons that in some of the verticals we even grew during, the peak COVID phase. That is because we were able to change the designs if we are not able to source a particular semiconductor which we are using, and if some other semiconductor which is related, similar to what we are using is available, then we used to quickly design the product around it and source that particular semiconductor and electronic components around it. And that is how we were actually able to grow in some of the verticals during COVID phase too. But if I look at the situation today, things are getting a lot better. And what we've learned during COVID is that not to rely on one or two sources. So during that, that phase, what we did is we came up with multiple designs for one particular, let's say if we make a 10-watt driver and we used to have one design for a 10-watt driver, now we have multiple designs, multiple sources. And that is how we've been able to, grow during that phase. And going forward, we'll keep that flexibility with us.
Mr. Singh, Mr. Hardeep Singh, you've been now supplying to many of the major players like Signify. Is there a way to branch out to have your private labels as well in the market?
No, actually our main focus is B2B business only, and whatever businesses we are doing and whatever markets we are very focused, and we will do only B2B business.
How do you see your margin profile moving because as adoption of LEDs increase, we've seen sharp decline in pricing of LEDs across the board for lighting especially, and you're sitting on a margin of 22 to 23%. How do you see this margin profile moving? Do you see this is there a way you can take it up, or will be a recalibration of these margins as LED price corrections happen in the market?
So basically, we are not in the commodity sector, and being an ODM, we always have that capability to bring out new products on the table, and that is what the strategy has been all along. So if you look at our product portfolio, it is very different to the general products that are there in the market. And we are pretty confident that, we'll be able to maintain these profit margins going forward because of the wide variety of customers that we have and the wide, array of products that we are manufacturing and delivering. So we are pretty confident. Plus, we are also going for a lot of automation in the near future. And that automation will help us, to maintain that will increase the efficiency more. So that is going to help us maintain these profit margins going in the near future. So we are confident for that.
Mr. Hardeep Singh, you are spending nearly 211 crores for capex or setting up new facilities. What kind of revenue potential that capex has going forward? How do you, in terms of ramp up?
It will be on the same pages. It will take little more time to come up to the same level, but definitely the focus is the same. We should come at the same level within small period of time.
So typically our asset turn has always been to the tune of around 5 to 6 times. And I mean, the way the businesses are moving, the way that our different verticals are moving, the asset turn is going to remain 5 to 6 times. But it is just that till the time we reach around 70 to 75% of capacity, and that is the time we'll again hit the asset turn of 5 to 6 times.
Can you give us an idea of the profile of the products that you do, because and what kind of margins these profiles of products have?
So what we do, our core strength is development of the products. Like we buy aluminium, we buy plastic, and then turn them into with the injection molding, CNC, powder coating, everything we are doing in-house. Designing the fixtures as well in-house. Designing their drivers also in-house. Also, we are moving to the more core electronic products. Like we have just developed the IPS controller for refrigeration, for commercial refrigerators. So these are the core strength with our development team and all. And we do a lot of backward integration where that is our strength. And that backward integration is only viable because we have different verticals, but the core strength is same, because all the vertical use aluminium, all the vertical use plastic, injection molding, die casting, powder coating. So this is our strength, that because of we have 4 different verticals, their backward integration is viable with us. And this is the core area. That is why we are growing faster and faster.
And if you look at the different verticals that we are into, like if I talk of the Philips ODM business that we are doing, the product ranges for the home segment, the high-end home decorative lighting segment. Then we have commercial lighting, then we have refrigeration lighting, then we have industrial lighting that we are exporting to the US. So the product, the variety is such that we start from 1 watts. 1 watt of a particular light, and then because of the different verticals, we go up to 500 watts. So that kind of shows the variety of products that we are into.
So my understanding is that the high-end home lighting segment is a very high margin business. So what is the kind of pricing arrangement that you have with your vendors, especially to who you supply these, like Philips or Signify? And what kind of price negotiation, and how frequent is the price negotiation agreement that happens between both of you?
No, but with Signify, we have a set of calculation. Like there are not very high margins. They are. It looks high because we do all the backward integration ourselves. If we do the imports, or if we buy the products from outside or the outside vendors, the cost will remain same. It is the add-on what we are getting, what we are adding in-house. That is the things we are getting.
Okay, Sanjeet, if you can give us a idea of the kind of cash flows that is again getting generated from your operation. What is the kind of cash flow that's typically can be seen from this operation, especially after the on a consolidated pro forma basis that you have?
In the first 9 months of FY23, we generated a cash flow of close to around 29. In the first 9 months of FY23, we generated a cash flow of around 29 odd crores.
And is that the run rate that you have for the full year?
For the full year, it will be somewhere close to around. I don't have the exact number right now with me because we do not have. I do not have that figure with me. But yeah, for the first 9 months is what I have as of now.
It is the basic principle. We work on the same.
So that's going to be the run rate for. That's going to be the run rate going forward as well. Give me a sense of your receivables and working capital requirement, because I was looking at your numbers. Your current liabilities were much higher, which I am understand is because you require higher working capital. How are you providing for that working capital?
So basically, the working capital, basically the working capital was higher because of the blip in the system that was COVID. So because of COVID, like I mentioned early on, we had to source a lot of different components, different designs, and we had to buy a lot of components based on those designs. So we were carrying a lot of inventory during COVID. And at that time, the working capital cycle, was higher as compared to what it was pre-COVID. But now, as we move forward and things are getting better, and the working capital cycle is also coming down. And if we look at the first 9 months, right now we are at around 125 odd days of working capital. And going forward, we intend to bring it down, say, close to around 90 days.
And how do you plan to do that? Because do you generate enough cash? That's why I was asking whether what kind of cash generation is coming in. Do you generate enough cash to bring down to 90 days?
Yeah, enough cash, and on top of that, because like I mentioned, it was because of COVID, and now things are getting better, so we don't need to carry inventories for as long as maybe 365 days. Which we were doing during COVID. So that time frame is getting shorter going forward. We are getting more confidence from the market. Situations are getting better. Now we have multiple designs, so the risk factor is less. So this way, the working capital cycle is definitely going down. And we've been a bootstrap company since inception. So this is primarily the first time that we are going out and having a Capex plan. So going forward, we will be able to manage the requirement for the working capital within our own internal accruals efficiently.
And you will be able to bring down the receivable days as well, because what I see is around 93 days or so receivables. You should be able to bring that down as well.
The receivables, because different verticals have different receivable days. So on a consolidated basis, to a certain extent, yes, I think we can bring it down to close to around 75 odd days, because we are also doing export, and the time that it takes for a particular shipment to reach the markets and the payments to come. So that is something that is going to remain there. So that is why the receivables will be to the tune of around 75 days going forward.
So this is how we are managing. Like, we have different verticals and the different payment things. So the cash flow, because some businesses have a faster cash flow, some has slower, but where the stores are, the margins are more. So this is how we consolidate together, and we are moving.
Finally, sir, how do you see this segment growing from here on? Because you have a lot of competition, a lot of local competition, as well as organized competition which is coming in. Though you are B2B, the pricing pressure at the market front gets anyways pushed down to the vendors like you. So how do you manage that kind of pricing pressure, which is always to bring down the pricing? At the same time, there is a challenge with respect to growth.
Yeah. So thing is that because we are an innovative company, so we innovate new products with the value addition or to that, and the quality and the productivity. So all those things once come together and gives the new products in each of our segment, like the refrigeration lighting. and the refrigeration electronics, and we are entered into recreational vehicle market in USA. So that is a huge market which is totally dependent on China. So they are looking for China one, and we are producing more and more products for them and developing more products for recreational vehicle market. So similarly for Philips, we are developing the new innovative products. Maybe we are going for the smart lighting and all. So these are the things which we are always, that is our core strength, that development, the new products with the time and with the quality and pricing and delivery. So if you manage these three things, this is the history that I will give you a very good example of that. We started working with the Anchor Electronics, giving them the rotary switches for their fan neighbors way back 20 years back. And we probably say today also we are the number one supplier for them because our quality, pricing, and deliveries are perfect on time. So these are the three core things which we focus. So we don't feel any competition or anything can hit us.
Plus, being an OEM and the backward integration that we have that also helps, to a great extent.
Gentlemen, it was a pleasure talking to you today on IPO Adda. The IKIO Lighting IPO, price band 270 to 285, opens on June 6th and closes on June 8th. Fresh issue of 350 crores, of OFS of 256.5 crores, a total size of 606 crores, giving it a market value of nearly 2,200 crores at the upper end of the price band. Thank you for watching IPO Adda.